Hi there, my name's Darrell, it's great to see you and welcome back to Old Man Cycling. So it is a welcome back for me because I've been away from the channel for about 4 months now. If this is your first time visiting, you probably won't be aware that about 4 months ago I got knocked off my bike by a car. Now it wasn't a really serious accident because it was fairly low speed, but you might be able to see a mark on my knee. That was the biggest injury that I suffered. And my knees are still not great afterwards. Now, they weren't the best in the first place, which is the reason why I bought myself an e-bike in the first place. But the accident has made it a lot worse. Now, I have been able to get on my exercise bike, and that doesn't seem to hurt my knee, but things like going upstairs and lifting my leg, or even lying in bed sometimes and just having a bent leg, really does still hurt my knee. So it's not 100%, but it's got to a position where I can get back out on the bike. Now, last week I did a test ride that I didn't film. I just wanted to see how I felt about getting on the bike, because there are still some psychological issues that I'll talk about later, just about getting on the bike after having an accident. But physically, I'm capable now of getting back out on the road. So what we'll do is I'll get the helmet on and we'll get out on the road, and I'll tell you some more about my rotor recovery as we get out on the ride. Now, I was going to say that the bike has been fully fixed, but I've just got about 100 meters from home and the back wheel is making a funny noise, and I've just had a check and it seems like one of the spokes is loose. So I'm going to turn around and just have a little tweak of that to see if I can tighten it up to stop it making that clicky sound. I assume that's what it is because I can't see anything else. So I'll be back with you in a few seconds. So following a bit of spoke tightening, I seem to have sorted the problem. There was just one loose spoke that was really very loose, so it needed quite a bit of tightening just to bring it up to the same tension as all the others. But that seems to have solved the problem. It's just every time the wheel rotated there was a strange clicking sound. So we've sorted that out. Now, I don't know whether that was something to do with the accident or whether it's just one of those things, but it's sorted now anyway. So pretty much the bike itself didn't suffer a great deal from the accident. There was more cosmetic damage than anything else. And the guy's insurance company sorted all that out, so I didn't have to pay out of my own pocket to have the bike repaired. But there was things like the handlebar tape was scuffed, the end of the axle on the rear had a bit of a scuff, one of the pedals where the bike fell over. But the thing that cost the most to replace was the brake lever. Because it's a Shimano GRX, it was getting on for £300. So I'm glad I didn't have to repair that out of my own pocket. Now today, because this is one of the first times that I've been out on the bike since the accident, I'm taking it very easy, and I've got the bike in full assistance mode. So there are 3 levels of assistance you can get from an e-bike. Level 1, level 2 and level 3, and each one provides extra power and just gives you more of a boost. Now, you only get the boost when you're pedaling, so it's not constant. So you can't just take your feet off the pedals and drive along as if you were on a motorbike, but you certainly can tell the difference between level 1 and level 3. And when I did the ride last week, I really did feel that I needed the level 3 assistance, particularly pulling away from junctions. So even now, just pedaling gently, I can tell that my knee is not quite fully better. So I've got to take it very easily. So that motor assistance is really invaluable. So as I said in my introduction, over the last 4 months I have suffered with my mental attitude towards getting back on the bike. Yes, initially my knee wasn't quite right for biking, but after about a month I did get back on my exercise bike, and just turning pedals doesn't actually hurt my knees. It's when I put more pressure through it that it does tend to hurt a bit more. But the actual thought of getting on the bike after being hit by a car, I just found really difficult. I did get to the point that when I thought about getting back on the bike, I just couldn't face it. I kept reliving the moment when I was hit by the car, and the thought of being injured again just really put me off. And I know that I've been biking since I was a kid and I've never had any serious accidents and all of that. You can tell yourself that, but as you get older, I think things start to play on your mind a lot more, and I really just could not face getting back on the bike. It was a real struggle, and something clicked a couple of weeks ago when I was driving home from work, and I just went into the bike shop and I bought myself a new helmet. I think that was one of my excuses for not getting back on the bike as well, because I damaged the older helmet, and so by not having a helmet I couldn't get back on the bike anyway. So I suddenly decided I would buy a helmet. Then I hadn't got that excuse, and that's why the next day I did the test ride last week. Now I must admit, it is still making me reasonably nervous. We just had a car come past, which just rose my alert levels, which is probably not a bad thing. It is always good to ride defensively anyway, but I'm just even more aware of motor vehicles and just trying to stay out of their way and probably anticipate what they might do a little bit more. So what really did surprise me is when I got the bike out last week, after 4 months sitting idle, the battery had not drained at all. I really expected it to be virtually flat, but clearly it will hold its charge over a long period of time if it's not being used, so that's a good thing to know. So today I've not really got a long ride planned or a particularly strenuous one. I'm just riding around the lanes that are local to where I live, partly because this ride is more to increase my confidence to get me back out, and also if something was to start hurting in my knee, I'm not too far away from home, so I could give my wife a call and she could come and collect me. So another reason for not going too far today is I've chosen a day that is really hot. The Wahoo says that it's 27 degrees Celsius at the moment, and after having 4 months of virtual inactivity, I've certainly lost a lot of fitness. Now yes, I have kept up a little bit of cycling on my exercise bike, so I'm not completely unfit, but I've certainly put on weight. I've added probably about 7 pounds from what I was before the accident, and I can tell that I'm just not used to doing the longer distances. That tractor could have waited instead of forcing me into the hedge, but hey ho. However, there is one thing that I can say, despite all the anguish of actually getting back on the bike and the worries involved in it, once I'm back in the saddle, it's easy to remember what is so addictive about cycling. It's just great being out, having a ride, and the e-bike does make the whole thing so pleasurable. As I've said in previous videos, it takes all the hard work out of cycling. Yes, you still have to do some work, it's not completely a free ride, but when you get to my age, cycling should be about enjoying yourself and not about making yourself suffer. So I'm pleased to say that I'm about 10 miles in at the moment and everything seems to be performing well. Both myself and the bike, that issue with the spokes has been cleared up. And my knee is holding up very well, and also my head. That doesn't seem to be too worried, except when we've got the odd car that comes past. It just makes me slightly wary, but I think that will be the case for a little bit of time to come. Thanks for coming along with me today on this, my first ride in a long while. It's been pretty successful. I've not gone far, I've done just over 15 miles today and I've taken it very easy, but it's been very successful because it's not hurt my knee. That's been great. The bike's performed okay, and most importantly, it's given me a bit more confidence as well to just get back out and start enjoying my biking again. So what I want to do now is I want to get back to a regular update schedule. So if you've got any comments at all about things that you would like to see, let me know down below, or you can nip over to my Facebook page and leave me your comments there. I love reading your comments and it's great to know that people enjoy the channel. So watch out for the next video, that will be coming soon. But in the meantime, it's been great to OMC you. Stay safe and I'll see you soon. Let's try again now. I've remembered to turn the fecking microphone on. Oh, fuck. Something knocking on the spokes. What? The back wheel's making a noise. I've got, I think, a loose spoke.